were born to win. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what you're experiencing right now in your life. I want you to know without a doubt in your mind that you, yes, you were born to win. Bishop, how do you know? How do you know that I was born to win? He said, before you were formed in your mother's womb, he said, I knew you and I called you to be a prophet to a nation. This is the victory that overcomes the world. It is our faith. Why? Because you were born to win. He said, I know the thoughts, I know the plans I have for you. They're thought of good and not of evil, to give you, yes, you, an expected end. Why? Because you were born to win. God has an amazing future for your life. I don't want you to quit. I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to throw in the towel. I want you to know that you were born to win. So glad to see you tonight. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Guys, make sure you stay bundled up. Make sure you stay bundled up. I'm telling you, it's about to be cold out there. I'm telling you, right here in Georgia, they've already started closing the schools. So I know that they're going to be closing the school. So it's about to be cold, man. It's really about to get cold out there. So I want you guys to make sure you bundle up. And then as we get into the word of God tonight, I won't be before you long because I know a lot of you guys have a lot of things you're going to be trying to get out, maybe trying to get that last part of the food that you have to getting all those wonderful things that you have to get at the last minute. I want you guys to make sure that you get those things. Make sure you bundle up. Make sure you get the gas for the generators. Whatever you need to stay safe, make sure you have those things in place. We got an amazing word. I mean, an absolutely amazing word for you on tonight. But before we get started, I got a couple of announcements I want to make, and then we're going to run a commercial, and then we're back with the word of God. But here's the first announcement. I had it up here the first time. I just want to show it again. I had it at the beginning of the show. Guys, we're almost there. I looked at the numbers before I came on, and we were at 264 subscribers. We're almost at 300. Almost at 300. Guys, you could help us hit this goal. All you have to do right now, just stop what you're doing. Go to our YouTube station, Success Nation Network. Sign up, subscribe for our YouTube station. We want you to be a part of that. So please sign up tonight. Make sure that you're a part of it. And then just click that little notification bell. Every time we go live, you will be notified that we are live. So we're almost there. We're almost at that goal. We're almost at that goal of pushing for 300 subscribers. Got an amazing word tonight. Here it is. We've been talking about all of these things, and one of the things that I've been discussing at the beginning of the year with my partners, we talked about developing a game plan, a game plan for your life. That's what we talked about. That's what we discussed. We discussed in detail how you go into a game plan at the beginning of a year. At the beginning of every month, I write a letter to all of our partners that support us and pray with us and believe with us for the vision that God has called us to do. And that was the letter that the Lord gave me at the beginning of the year, was to write them about developing a game plan. When I used to coach, every game that we went into, we had a game plan. We had a game plan. We had a game plan how we was going to attack, what we was going to do, what we was going to do. And this year, see, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. And so you said at the beginning of this year, at the midnight when the clock struck 12, you said some things are going to be different. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. And you had every intention on doing it. I believe you're going to get those things done. The problem is the difference between this year and last year is that if you don't have this one thing in place, this year will look like last year and the year before that and the year before that. But what can make this year different? You got to have a game plan. I remember when I used to coach for this little small team in Montgomery, Alabama, and it was a little 1A school I used to coach for, and we actually started implementing having a game plan at this little small school. They had never seen that before in their life. They didn't even know what it was. It was no wonder that every year their schedule, they would be 1-10 or 1-9. Every year they will only win one game for about 5 or 6 years. They never won. Our first year there, I think we won 6 again. I think we won 6-4. And then the next year, I think they went 7-3. I mean, every year there was a progression. because we made an adjustment that they had never seen before. And that one adjustment that we made, of course, we practiced hard. We did it. Even when we practiced, we had a plan on how we was going to practice. We just didn't go out there on the field and start throwing balls around. Tonight, you see the team getting ready for the championship game. They're not just going out there. It's okay. All right. Let's see what we're going to do. No. They have a specific game plan that's in place. Something that's in place that they're going to do, that they're going to maximize their potential to win. Both teams have this in place. So you will never be successful in life if you continue to doing the same thing year after year after year. Those football teams would have never have changed. They had to do some things differently. And so we would have a game plan even when we were on the practice field. We had a plan on how we were going to warm up. We had a plan. We just didn't go out there and just start warming up. We're going to do 10 jumping jacks. Then we're going to run around the field. Then we're going to touch our toes. Then we're going to jump the sky. We're going to do wave backs. I don't even know if people do wave backs anymore. We had a specific game plan on how we were going to practice, how we were going to warm up, how we was going to execute these plays. We had a specific plan that we followed. And that plan allowed us to be successful year after year after year. Let me tell you, in order for this year to be different, in order for this year to look different than 2024, in order for this year to look different than 2023, in order for this year to look different, you're going to have a game plan. And so one of the things that we talked about in our game plan was having a scouting report. A scouting report. That was a part of the game plan. We had a specific scouting report that we put together. And that's the first part I want to talk about in this game plan tonight, is how to put together your scouting report on how you're going to execute your plan. So whenever we would put together a scouting report, one of the first things we had in our game plan was the scouting report. And in that scouting report, we had key players that we wanted to look out for, key plays that the other team would run, and we also have what we would call tendencies. In other words, when we looked at this, we knew that this was going to happen. When they did this, we knew that was going to happen. When they got in this formation, this is what they would do in that formation. That was a part of the scouting report. And in that scouting report, we had certain players. You need to look out for this. You need to look out for that player. This player is good at this. That player is good at this. When the ball's on this hash, whenever that quarterback is going to run a trick play, they're going to always line up on this hash because that quarterback is left-handed. So they're going to try to do this in that scouting report. We have specific things that we will look out for in that report that will make us more effective in how we prepare for our opponent. Let me ask you a question. What is your scouting report saying this year? Are you looking at some of the same tactics that the enemy used in 2024, 2023, 2021? The same tricks. I mean, that same no good joker. Every time they drop that line, you know it's going to be a lie. But then yet and still, you haven't made a change. And that same argument keeps coming up. When are you going to start in your scouting report saying, you know what, I need to look out for this? I need to look out for that. If this happens, then I know this is about to happen. If this happens, this is his favorite play. This is the enemy's favorite play. He likes to fight me with depression. He likes to fight me with oppression. He likes to fight me with getting my mouth. He likes to fight me with looking at certain dirty pornography pages. There are certain things that he always does over and over and over again. And you keep falling for it year after year after year. But this year, it has to be different because in your scouting report, you're going to look for tendencies that the enemy have, certain trick plays that he tries to do, certain conversations that he continually, year after year, pull you in. I'm not going to be snared by that conversation this year. I'm not going to be snared by, I'm not going to get into it this year. I'm going to do something different. Number two, the second thing we looked at in our scouting report was weaknesses. Weaknesses. Hey, listen, they're really soft in the middle of their defense. We can run the ball. Hey, they really can't cover that well. We can throw the football. Hey, they really, really are weak in their kicking game. So there is an advantage for us this year. Those are some of the things that we looked at. We looked at the opponent's weaknesses in that scouting report. Let me ask you a question. Have you examined the field Have you examined your life for certain weaknesses? Listen, hey, I got a bad attitude. I need to work on that. Hey, wait a minute. Every time I get into that group of people, they always pull me down. I need to separate myself from that. Every time I go on my job, I open my mouth, I start murmuring and complaining. When are you going to start looking for weaknesses that is stopping and blocking you from walking in the destiny that God has for you? Number 3, we also looked at strengths. Hey, listen, guys, we know that they're weak in the middle, so we're really good at running the ball. Let us just not run any play, but we know that we can run the ball on the right side. That's our strength. Excuse me. We're really strong. And they said, hey, we got the number 1 receiver in the country. And whenever they get one-on-one with this guy, we know this is our strength. We know that we can get the ball to this person. Let me ask you a question. What is your strength this year that you're going to put resources in that you know that you can do it better, you can become better at it? What is your strength? What are you good at? I tell my students all the time, what is it that you know God put you on this earth to do and nobody can do it like you can do it? You know without a doubt in your mind, I can do this. What is your strength? What are you good at? What do you know that you can do? And people will pay for this gift. What is your strength? Number 4, we look for key areas in the game. Key areas, key opportunities that we were going to try to execute a certain play. So in other words, we would say, hey, listen, after a big turnover from the defense, we're going to run a trick play. We're going to run a specialty play. Those are what we call momentum changers, momentum shifters. Have you begun to search for different opportunities for I can shift the momentum and the trajectory of my life? Have you begun to align yourself with groups that will bring out the best in you? Have you started looking at workshops that you can go to that will bring out the best in you? Those key moments, those key opportunities that you know will cause you to excel and grow to the next level. The last thing we looked at in our game plan, in our scouting report game plan, and this is key. This right here, I'm telling you, this was probably number 1 and number 5 were probably the most important. Number 1, we looked at the player tendencies, we looked at the strengths, we looked at key players. That was all in that number 1. We looked at favorites, we looked at tendencies and those different things. But number 5 was very important. Number 5 in our game plan when we had a coaching staff, we would set goals. Hey guys, we need to have 100 yards rushing. We need to have at least 300 yards passing. We need to have at least 5 sacks on defense. Hey, listen, number 44, you need to win this battle, and you need to win this battle 50% of the time. We had key goals, and that's how we measured how well we would do as a defense. That's how we measured how well we would do as an offense. Let me ask you a question in your scouting report, in your game plan. What goal have you laid down? What goal have you written down? What goal? What goal? We had key. We just didn't go out there willy-nilly. All right, we just gonna hope we're gonna win. Hey, we're gonna go out. We're just gonna hope. No. We had key goals. In order for us to win the game, we got to stop them this many times. In order for us to win the game, we got to touch the ball on offense this many times. We had key goals. What are your goals? What are your goals? Listen, and my wife and I, we go round and round about this because I don't believe in writing 30 goals. I don't believe in writing 50 goals. Listen, I love 5. That's my number. I love the number 5. Write down 5 key goals. Something that you can look at and say, hey, okay. 5 areas. What is it? Hey, listen, I want to save $100 a month. And you know what? If you do that, by the end of the year, you have $1,200 saved. Hey, listen. I'm going to self-care for myself. At least my brother's on here, Jonathan. I just saw him pop up and say something. I thought what he did was the weirdest thing, but it's the most amazing thing. But I think it's the weirdest thing. He takes himself to the movies. That's his thing. He goes to the movies by himself, and have an amazing time by himself. I had never seen anybody do that before, but that's his self-care. Do you have a self-care goal? Hey, listen, I'm gonna make sure I do this. I'm gonna make sure I do that. And listen, marriages, let me tell you something. Do you have a goal for your relationship? Do you have a goal? You know, hey, my wife and I, we're gonna date this many times a month. No matter what, no matter what comes up, no matter what comes in our way, we're going to go on a date this many times a month. We're not gonna let anything stop it. Let me tell you something. If you don't, your relationship is gonna look like 2024, 2023, 2022. I told my partners this at the beginning of the year. Guys, you have to have a game plan. And the first part of that game plan is writing a detailed scouting report. And that's what we did. So in our scouting report, number one, we looked at tendencies. We looked at favorites. We looked at key players on their team. We looked at certain things. And that's what you got to look at. You got to look at the attacks of the enemy. Hey, these are key things he always do to me. He always fight me in this area. This is how he throws me off track. I start comparing. This is how me and my wife almost get in an argument. We always start competing with each other. It's the same tactic. He hadn't changed it. So you need to look at that tendency. And when you begin to see that thing rise, you recognize the enemy and say, hey, no, we're not going that way this year. 2025 is going to look different. And the second thing we always looked at the weaknesses. Hey, they're weak here. They're not strong here. They need to grow in this area. Hey, they're very short at the cornerback position. We can throw the football. They're weak there. What are your weaknesses that you know you need to work on? So maybe you need to avoid certain things. Hey, if you know you got trouble in your flesh with pornography and those different things, hey, well, then you need to stay off sites. Hey, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set some parameters around me that when I'm on social media, I'm going to be on social media with my wife. That's a key area. That's holding yourself accountable. You know you're weak in that area. You know you're weak, so you don't need to be going to lunch with everybody. You know you're weak. So make sure you go there strength. The third thing we looked at our strengths. Hey, we're good at this. We know we can throw the ball. We know we can tackle well. We know we're strong here. What are your strengths? You need to look at your strengths and feed those strengths so they can become stronger, because that's your ticket to breakthrough. That's your ticket. That's your ticket. You're trying to come up. That's your come up. Feed your strengths. Number 4, we looked at key areas, key moments in the game that we can take advantage of. We call them specialties, or we'll call them trick plays, or we'll call them momentum shifters. You know, we want to run a trick play here. We see this situation here. We want to try to blitz. We see this right here. We look for trick moments to create big plays that will create momentum. What are you doing to try to create some momentum in your life? What are you doing to try to create momentum, create some things different? And then the last thing, which is the most important thing, we created goals. We had goals every week that we went after as a defense. And that's how we knew we were going to be an effective defense, on how well we matched up with those goals. Guys, in order for 2025 to look different, in order for it to look different, guys, you have to have a game plan. And the most important part of that game plan is the scouting report. It's the scouting report. We're going to be talking about this the entire month of January, how to develop the game plan that's going to get you ready, that your 2025 is going to look different than any other year. I believe that this is going to be your best year yet. God bless you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys on Sunday. My wife and I got an amazing word for you on Sunday. Thank you to all my partners that came to the prayer at the beginning of the year. We're going to do that every first Tuesday of every month. We had an amazing turnout for that. Thank you guys for supporting it. And guys, if you want to be a part of that, the next broadcast, I'll put the number up on the screen so you can be a part of our prayer call that we do once a month. God bless you. We'll see you on Sunday.